It's about that time.
Pre-record on my count. 7, 6, 5, 4.
Here we go, Roger.
Then on Insights, two eyes in the middle. INSiiGHTS, where we always talk the talk.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. I got my guy. He fell out the bed, but if you look at him, he's in that red. That's my boy, Rick Del Brown.
What's up, Coach? What's going on, my brother?
I don't know, man. I try to be like you. I just can't quite get as hyped as you, but I'm trying.
Oh my goodness. What a day. Welcome everybody to the MicknRick Show. It's your boy, your favorite reporter's favorite reporter.
Rick, myself. Did you forget your tagline?
You know when you drive when you get off the road 14 hours, it's kind of tough. But I'm here. Forget all that. I'm here. I got you. And speaking of which, that lovely face right there, you know him, you love him, or you don't. But one of the two definitely. It's the coach, Mickey Clayton.
Boy, you keep getting better and better, boy. I love to hear you, boy. I love to hear you. Boy, we had our first weekend of just a full weekend, high school playing, college playing, NFL playing, everybody playing, everybody rolling. Man, it's really something. Now, first of all, I get to that. You know, you selected a couple guys to be on the NFL Fan Show, boy. Them guys were a little special last week. Them guys were a little special last week.
They were special. They were, but hey, wait a minute. Yeah, those guys were special. But those two guys up north, those Northerners, those Ohio guys, those roommates, they were pretty special them daggone selves.
And they were so bad. We had people who know them say, you know good and well you can't put both of them on at the same time. You already know that. And they were actually on good behavior. Oh. But I do have to say, my boy with the Jets, he picked up a fan. He said, hey, that guy right there is hilarious. I mean, somebody made a comment about him. And this particular person usually is busting Rick's chops. He usually on that. Oh. And Rick, the reporter, when he throw his hands up in the air, they say, I get it. When he throw his hands up in the air.
They just had me rolling last week. There's nothing else I could do. I mean, they were just coming. I mean, the shots were going. I mean, I actually thought it was a tennis match for a second because of boop, 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 one here, one there. And the Bucks fan would jump on the Cowboy fan. Then the Cowboy fan would jump on the Washington fan. Then the Washington fan would jump on. And it was just like, this is great. This reminds me of a cookout. I thought I was home.
All the brothers and uncles at the cookout. Like somebody said, well, at least we got one guy who put his name and his team. And he said, Mick, reading is fundamental.
Reading is fundamental.
Reading is fundamental. If you read what was on there, you would already know that's what you were supposed to do. So yes. So those guys took, but by popular demand, we still trying to work the kinks out. Somebody said, that crew, y'all need to have them predict the games each week. And so that's what we working on. We work on that. We got our first week's predictions. We also see what we don't do is we don't we don't predict all the games. Just select games. Just select games that we usually try to pick each one of our teams, and then an odd team in there. But we got pretty much all the guys involved, and not calling any names, Rick Brown. But we also have a mysterious person calling himself the Sports Diva.
Ooh.
And said they were going to hold up the banner for all the women. And
all right.
The Sports Diva was going to predict too, and also said, tell the reporter, as long as my total is better than his, then it's going to be a good season. Now, everybody takes a shot at the reporter. Now, for those who are participating, those I was going to say those guys, but they're not all guys. But the winner gets a $100 gift certificate at the end of the season. So, man, all of a sudden,
it gets kind of serious now, huh?
Real serious. But I'm gonna have to go to the first part of the show. I have a young man to help me out. He needs no introduction in America. He has a voice that's all over every high school and middle school game in 3 counties, 2 states, and 7 countries. And we got an echo coming from somewhere, probably from Earl Hankerson.
What's going on, fellas? What's going on? Listen, hey, you hear me? I don't know what the hell is going on with my voice today. Coach, I got up this morning, got ready for work, and as soon as I got in the truck, my damn voice went haywire. Oh, probably should have got my butt back in the bed, but anyway. Hey, listen, I'm gonna get in and I'm gonna get out of here tonight, and I promise y'all that we're gonna have to chop it up a little bit longer next time. But listen, what coach? What's my segment? What's my segment called? Hankerson High School segment? What is it?
Oh, look, Rick. Now he's trying to do a segment.
Love it.
Now he's trying to get a segment. One of the things that we wanted to do, Earl has been with us, from the beginning, doing the games and things, and was really key with us being involved with Rickards High School, and also got us into some other schools off of his relationships, and has been with us when Leon County Schools said, I don't even know how they phrased that now, but they didn't really want to have nothing to do with us. We were considered an outsider. But all that happened at the same time COVID-19 came. So we ain't want to go no way.
Hey, it might have been because of me, Coach. Them damn Hankersons, they'll get you in trouble. They get you in trouble. Hey, let me get in. I want to go see my daughter down there cheering. So, if she don't see daddy, it might be a problem when I get home.
Yeah, I understand. Let me go real quick. We want to bring them up to date a little bit with last week's high school games. Taylor County was over beat FAMU High 38-0. FAMU High still winless. Lincoln in a big game beat Bertram Trail, came from behind to beat them 37-31. Bertram Trail, I think, was ranked number 2. John Paul 2 beat McClay 53-31. John Paul 2 now at 2-1. Thomasville still rolling 4-0, beat Bainbridge 28-10. North Florida Christian now at 2-1, beat Jeffco, still winless 28-12. Madison County 24-12 over University Christian, who was previously undefeated. Childs at Choctaw, they're struggling now. They lost 31-7. Thomasville County Central beat Godby 20-12. We're gonna come back to that. In the Soul Bowl, Rickards and Gadsden. Rickards came from behind. Well, they were behind. They won 43-36.
It was down 31-20 at the half.
To a team that had not scored a point all season.
Team hadn't scored a point, and I sent a text out to the tech guy with 3 letters. WTF.
Oh.
That was at the half.
Say that was at the half, huh?
Yeah, so of course that was the game of the week. Pretty had to be a great game. They said it was about 1,700 people at the stadium. Big crowd and a lot of excitement. Having a whole lot of trash talking all week. And I didn't expect, Gadsden hadn't scored a point, but I should have known because Corey Fuller would have had his team ready to go against Rickards. And so got to give them hats off to Gadsden. Hopefully that'll get them jump started and they can continue the season and do pretty well, have a good showing through the rest of the season. But definitely hats off to my boy Quentin Lewis, the best hire I ever made as the athletic director. That's my guy, and he got the Rickards Raiders rolling. But, Coach, let me tell you about the not-so-top game of the week. And the Georgia High School Athletic Association needs to be shamed, and they should be shaking their head for the way they did the Godby Cougars down in Thomasville at Thomas County Central. Every time they had a big score, it all of a sudden comes back. Unsportsmanlike conduct, illegal man downfield, you name it, it was called. Unbelievable. And I'm not the guy that's always fussing about the refs, but doggone, goodness gracious.
But Earl, what about the touchdown they scored and the special teams were running all on the field and everything else?
The extra point team running on the field, the fans throwing confetti in the stands, the band playing. 10, 15 seconds later, illegal man downfield. Whoa, my goodness gracious. It was a fiasco. Then the fans started chanting cheaters, and they told the coach, one of the coaches from Godby, to come over to the stands and tell them if they continue to make that chant, they were going to call the game. Unbelievable. What referees listening to the fans? That's crazy.
Wow, Rick, they're going to tell them to stop. Stop chanting in the stands or we're going to call the game.
I've never heard that from referees before. That's different. That is different.
I think that's technical difficulty. Can you hear me?
Wow, do they come to Godby next year?
I don't know.
Sorry. Do they come to Godby next year? Another game I have to mention, Brooks County over Cook County 42-20. Omari Arnold with 3 touchdowns, 1 for 68 yards, and a 75-yard punt return for a touchdown. He carried the ball 11 times for 127 yards.
Nice. Doing
and
it all
as you
over.
see, Brooks County kind of still hanging in there in the top 6. They're ranked number 6 with us, still hanging in there. Number 5, making a leap, Monroe, going to 3-0. 4 is Rickards. 3, Lincoln. We've been having a tie all year for number 1 with Thomasville and Florida High. It finally got separated by a narrowest of margins, mainly from what one of the voters said. Florida State is just drilling people. They won 53-3. They said they just drilling people. So they ended up giving them a slight edge over Thomasville, but I still stand by the fact that would be a heck of a game to see right there.
Mm-hmm.
So Brooks County is at Mitchell on Friday. Mitchell's 2-1. Florida High is at a bye. Lincoln 2-1 is at Mosley. Mosley is 3-0. JP2 is home against Quincy Monroe, who's 3-0. That's going to be a good game. Rickards at Crestview. Crestview undefeated. That's going to be another good game. You're going to have Madison County at Childs. And Madison County has righted the ship. It's going to be a long night for Childs. It's going to be a long night for them. So it's some good games, but there's a lot of teams that are actually receiving buys this week. And we appreciate Earl, who wanted to give himself his own segment, which Which, if he wants to do his segment, he's always welcome to do his segment.
Yep, as long as he gets his audio correct, we would love to have you, Earl. You know I love you, Earl. You know I had to do it, Earl. You know I had to. Just had to. I love you, bro. I love you.
He said, as long as he gets that straight.
No, we love him. Yeah, definitely. Most definitely.
FAMU football team got straight. Got to win. Jackson State drilled Tennessee State.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that was kind of a crunk head thumper there, the way they handled them.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State went down. And when they went down, boy, it's not a happy camp across town over there, boy.
Yeah, the natives are a little restless up there in the Big Bend area, eh?
Deion Sanders' name coming up again.
You know, I've heard that Deion is priming himself in a way to slide on up. I don't think so, though. I don't think so.
Well, one thing about, first of all, did you know where Deion graduated from?
Let me guess. Are we talking high school or are we talking about elementary school?
Where did he get his collegiate degree? It's so obvious. I don't know how you don't know it.
FAMU?
Oh, that's a good guess. Good guess.
I mean,
why didn't you say Florida State?
Because I don't know if he got his degree from Florida State.
Well, you don't know if he got it from FAMU.
I figured it would either there or TCC, but.
Oh, Lord. You getting yourself in trouble now. He got his degree from Talladega College.
Talladega?
An online program, and they worked with him and got his degree.
At Talladega? Oh, that's cool, though. No, on the real, though. I mean, I was clowning and whatnot. But I'm glad he did get his degree, though.
Well, he had to be able to coach at that level again, and then at the Orange Blossom Classic, he had his alma mater's band in the parade.
Oh, that's good.
See,
that's what's up.
And I heard they really look good. And so you can't help but kind of respect somebody who does that, and then gets them all the way down to Miami to be in the parade. That's big time for them to be able to get in that Miami area, get them some more students. And Deion, remember where he got his degree from. You have to say what you want to say. Played at Florida State. Well, he's HBCU graduate, so you say whatever you want to say. It doesn't matter to me.
Deion, Coach Prime, I'm wrong. I apologize. I'll be the first to admit it. You know, you are gaining my respect more and more each week. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, they're talking about he was one of the most improved coaches when they saw him when he was in the Orange Blossom Classic, and some things he did that people were saying he had shown a lot of growth. So, and just so Sports Diva ain't taking her long. She's on there talking about Florida State High School, not the university. Yeah, well, if they're undefeated, yeah, I understand what they're trying to say. Yeah, I understand what they're trying to say now. Dog, being 4-0, they talk. No, don't get it twisted. It is not the university. I said, wow, Sports Diva.
She's on a roll.
She's on a roll. I will agree. And now, with our crew making their picks and talking about who they were going to pick for the first weekend of games, and now it's pretty much time to select the second week. And we will put the totals up there so that everybody will get a chance to see exactly what they did. But I got something here for you, Rick. I got something here for you. I always keep something. Look at it, sitting back.
Mickey Clayton,
the coach. Inside Sports. We try to be everywhere. I try to support my team. If you're going to be a fan, then you're going to be a fan. Hey, the quiet before the storm. Inside Sports. The absolute loudest stadium I've ever been in. Even my Browns home stadium doesn't compare to this one. Oakland, Atlanta, Dallas, none of them loudest I've ever been. By popular demand by the fans, the people that we have from the NFL fans talking about their favorite teams, we now will pick 5 or 6 games each week. See who the winner is. See who really knows what they're talking about. Those are the people you see on the screen there. Plus, we added a mysterious person, Sports Diva. The winner at the end of the season with the most W's out of that crew, they get a $100 gift certificate. Hey, stay tuned. This crew will be back.
Long season, Coach. Long season.
No.
That was week 1.
No. Long drive, 2,100 miles.
Okay. Longer than my drive.
Yeah. Long drive.
Longer than my drive, most definitely.
So he said, how are you able to I said, we're a production company. That's one of the advantages of driving. You can carry 3-4 tripods to set that stuff up. Greg,
oh man,
they're so doggone loud in that camp.
That's
oh my God. I've been a lot. I've been maybe 10, 12 different stadiums, but it's nothing like Kansas City Stadium. They are so loud. Now, on the other hand, they deserve a new stadium. That Florida State Jumbotron bigger than theirs. And don't try to follow down and marker and all of that. It's on a narrow piece that's running across. You got to find it. It's about as small as our tagline where it says Mickey Clayton, the coach, and the reporter Rick Brown. You need binoculars to try and see it. I'm up in the cheap seats. There's no escalators, nothing. You pretty much walking all the way up. A lot of facilities now at least have escalators, and I saw some older people really struggling trying to get to their seats.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they tell you about parking and encourage you to get parking, and the doggone parking lot, they have it by colors and got numbers on it and all of that. I got there 2.5 hours before the game and barely got to my seat at kickoff.
Wow.
Barely got to my seat at kickoff. I'm there 2.5 hours before the game. I've spent over an hour in line trying to get to the parking lot. And then the crowd to get in. And one of the guys said, oh, we're a lot better organized this year. And his girlfriend said, if this is what y'all call organized, leave my ass home next time. Leave me home next time.
Our SOs, I tell you, they are so lovely. They will tell it. They do not mince any words.
They do not. What was the game that you were most surprised about?
The game that really surprised me was the Atlanta debacle. Of all the games, I mean, they just got waxed by Philadelphia. It doesn't surprise me that Philadelphia won, but the way they won, it seemed like Atlanta wasn't even prepared. Like they just was thinking about next week. Like next week was homecoming, or next week was FAMU BCU, and this week they were just like, all right, we're just gonna go through the motions because they got walloped. And if this is what we're gonna see from Atlanta, that coach may be one and done.
Well, I have to say that, with all the stuff that was talked last week, the game that had me most interested was Dallas and Tampa Bay. And Dallas almost got that Heine. You can't leave the GOAT with 18 seconds left on the clock. You can't do that. But it was a heck of a game. And mainly because of the people, mainly because Dallas was involved in it. And people have such strong emotions about Dallas. And everybody, all the prognosticators had them in a blowout. What did they say? What did they tell my boy Todd? That he wasn't going to score 10 points? And Todd said, what, 10 points in the first quarter? I mean, the look on Todd's face, if you go back, the look on his face, the whole panel just broke out and started laughing. Todd was like, that is incredulous. We going to score 10 points. You know, that.
Yeah.
I think, you know, we're going to be able to go back and pull stuff. Didn't somebody say about Washington's quarterback, if y'all are counting on him, you're going to get your heart broke?
Yep. Corey said that. Corey said that from the Jets. That was one of Ryan Fitzpatrick's stops.
Right.
And Ryan, I don't think Fitzpatrick made it out the first quarter.
Didn't make it out of the first quarter. You know, because some of the people on our panel, people don't know what their background is. They think that perhaps they don't really know what they're talking about. But a lot of things that are said on this show come true. Now I listen to Dion say, oh, the SWAC, the MEAC needs to fold and become a part of the SWAC. Have we not been saying that all year? That all HBCUs ought to be under one umbrella, Division I and Division II, just all of them under one umbrella?
I have heard that. I've heard that right here.
Right here. Right here. Right here. But the guys were so funny. And then you get people who are Pittsburgh Steelers fans, and they just yap. Pittsburgh Steelers fans talk to me more than Cowboy fans. And probably because I'm from Cleveland, so, you know, it's kind of a rival game. It's even more of a rival now since we beat them. It's never a rivalry if you ain't beating them.
That's what they say.
But then when they get a chance to come on and say something, oh, I got a bad connection. Oh, my email not working. Oh, I couldn't get on. I said, well, just shut the hell up. Don't jump out there now, you know, and start talking because you won one that you didn't. I don't want to hear that. If you got something to say it before the game. Anybody could say it after the game.
Yeah, it's easy to go 6-0 on Tuesday.
Yeah. What do you say, Rick, on Tuesday?
Yeah.
On Tuesday. Oh, and then they were laughing at your boy with the Jets. They say, oh, he don't have nothing to be happy about. He just glad to be a part of the show.
Oh, man, CeeLo. But he said, what he said? He said he's happy he has a quarterback. And hopefully he could develop. I think the quarterback did okay. I mean, he was a rookie. He played like a rookie. And the Jets did what they did.
Say the wins and losses don't matter. I mean, when we was 0-16 and 1-15, they mattered a lot. They mattered a lot. We died on every loss. Just like I died in Kansas City.
Oh, Coach, I was listening to some of that game on the way back home. And for a while, y'all had their number. What did you see? If anything changed, I was just.
Andy Reid is an excellent coach and has an excellent staff. Stefanski's done a heck of a job, but he's still a second-year coach. It's not much Reid hadn't seen.
Okay.
And he made some adjustments. You know, when you play somebody for the first game of the season, your team needs to be ready because you've scouted them for 4 months. You put stuff in that you want to run and things that you want to do.
Right.
Now, quiet as it's kept. Last time we played Kansas City, the turning point to me was the head-to-head helmet that was hit on Rashad Higgins when he was trying to extend the ball over the goal line. It wasn't called, and it was a fumble Kansas City ball. That was a turning point for me. Head to head, helmet to helmet, didn't call it. Ronnie Harrison from Florida High, right here in Tallahassee, they say he tried to step on a play intentionally. I don't believe that. The running back coach runs over and pushes him. Ronnie Harrison pushes him back. They call a flag on the Kansas City bench. 5th play of the game. Game just started. Kansas City fans going ballistic. They're going ballistic. Home crowd now, so they're showing it. They're showing the replay. They just keep showing the replay, But they're not showing where the coach really pushed him. And so I'm yelling. The coach pushed him first. Like my one voice make a difference with over 75,000 people. Rick, they went back and changed the call and ejected Ronnie Harris.
But not the coach.
But not the coach with no penalty.
Wow. They always say the person who retaliates always gets caught.
But Rick, that's bullshit. Because they called the guy. They called him at first, and they showed the replay. So you see everything. So you see everything. That's why you do replay.
That Kansas City home cooking.
So we went, but like it was so funny because there's Brown fans everywhere.
Okay.
Boy, they walking by, they talking about them Chief fans that got awful quiet up in this camp, ain't they? Man, Cleveland had that sucker so quiet up in there, boy. But Baker, they said Baker threw an interception. He got to win the big game. Yeah, well, but somebody made an analogy on one of the talk shows with Cleveland. They were saying that Patrick Mahomes is like John Elway. He always finds a way to win. And they said Baker is like Bernie Kosar. He's a good quarterback, but not an elite quarterback. And when they said that, I'm a Baker fan. He comes to play. He got a little chip on his shoulder. He's not going to be the best quarterback in the NFL, but he's pretty doggone good.
3rd year for Baker?
Yeah, and contract year for him.
Oh, 4th year.
Now, the other guy, I know you got an opinion on it, Jameis.
Mercy.
Did he not silence the crowd for the critics for at least a week?
For a week. For a week until he starts eating them W's again. Eating those W's again. But
were you a
Sean
reporter
Payton,
when he was down there? Were you
I was. When he got drafted. I was there.
What was he like to talk to and interview? My dealings with him, he seemed like a pretty straight guy.
Yeah, definitely. I hated him on the podium, like during the week. I love talking to him. And the Bucs had a system where you really didn't talk to the quarterbacks on the record, but anyway, outside of the podium. And I hated that because his podium answers were so politically correct. Get him to the side and just start talking to him. Oh my gosh, he was great. Now he was good on the podium, and after the games he was great because that was pure emotion coming out, and he would tell it like it is. But get him to the side. He was. I've always liked Jameis. I've always liked him. I thought he was a stand-up guy. Made mistakes, but I saw the maturity, the growth, and when he left the Bucs and went to the Saints, I felt this could be special just because of Sean Payton's history, what he does with quarterbacks, what he does with offense. And if he could get Jameis to just check the ball down just check the ball down. Then you can throw for 4 touchdowns and only 93 yards before hitting the big one for 50 some yards and finishing with 5 touchdowns and 148 yards, something like that passing. But the main thing was no interceptions. I don't know if he can keep them like that though. I honestly don't, because Jameis is like a thoroughbred. He wants to go. He wants to go. So the most important thing that I thought about that game was that Jameis didn't have his top 2 receivers and was still able to check the ball down and not force anything. As long as he keeps that mentality, the Saints are going to be something to mess with. I mean, especially when Michael Thomas gets back. Yeah, that offense could be very scary in the NFC.
Well, let me ask you this. You started down a road when you were talking about the protocols with Tampa Bay and how why would they only allow it, or is that normal? Kind of give our listeners some insight with that,
Sure.
'cause that would not be what you would expect, or is that what you would expect?
It all depends on the organization. Each organization handles their locker rooms and their availability differently. Uh, you have one day sometimes for the quarterback, one day for the defensive star, and then you have open locker rooms. With COVID, it changed because there's no open locker rooms now. Well, at least not in Tampa Bay. And so you don't have the midweek interaction with the players. Uh, but when it comes to quarterbacks, and I don't know why the Bucks do this, but they have always just said no. The quarterbacks are just available on Wednesdays or Thursdays, whichever day that they, and then on after the game on Sunday. So you only get them twice a week. Sometimes on Mondays after as a roundup, but very rarely. Some like Green Bay, on the other hand, when there was you can get them anywhere, get the quarterbacks in the locker room whenever. So it just depends on the organization and if they're tighter, if they want to really control, or maybe the quarterback, if they're a vet, maybe they don't want to talk all that time, and they give them that as well.
That was going to be the question I asked. Do you think that in some cases, perhaps certain players might think it's an intrusion and don't really want to deal with doing interviews? How has your experience been when you were doing that? Not everybody wants to talk, and
Right.
I also remember somebody telling me one time, they said, "Coaches, you tell a character of a player and a coach after a loss." It says it's easy to interview them when they win, but you tell a lot more when they lose. But you might have some that just don't want to talk, period. So
Right.
how did reporters handle that when you're trying to get, your job is to try and cover the news, but also to build interest, at least in the home team?
I mean, and that's why we get our passes and so we get we get the dimes that we make because we have to figure out how to get someone who's not really um, comfortable, who may not be comfortable, or who may just don't like reporters uh, to speak. For the most part, they understand that if they don't talk, they could get fined. Now, with the Bucks, it's funny. You had an open locker room from, let's just say, 11:30 to 1. Well, some players could use that time to eat, um, get assistance with the trainer, go into a room that's off limit to reporters, and stay in there until open locker room is over, and then come in. And you saw that happen, especially once the team started losing, and if they were out of the playoff run, and you get tired of saying, well, we're going to try next week. You get tired of the same old thing. Then more and more guys will slide to the side, and you won't see them in the open locker room. But the real profession, well, I won't call them real professionals because that's kind of biased. But then you have some guys who are just like, hey, this is part of my job. They understand it. They may not agree with some of the things reporters write, and they'll talk to them about it. Especially if you're around a lot and they know you, they'll be like, "Hey, Rick, come here. What was that you said?" Da 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 da. And then you explain, "Hey, look, did I say anything wrong? Did I? No, but you da da da. Well, I could have put it differently, but it was the same. Y'all stunk." So and so sometimes you agree to disagree. Sometimes they stay. Sometimes you lose some people and say, you know what? Well, I'm not going to talk to you again. And then you have to say, okay. Now, if you needed him, then you go to PR and say, look, I need this guy. And then PR rub some shoulders and get them to it. The NFL is good. They know that we have a job to do, and they have a job to do. Be dealing with the media is part of their job as well. So, for the most part, they were pretty good.
So is this also why you would see, like Tampa, you have several newspapers covering the Bucks? Is that why on certain days you might see three or four papers with a story about the same individual because they brought that particular person to the podium that day, and it would be like they don't want anybody else to break a story different from what everybody else is, and so they try to. Is that their way of controlling the narrative?
Partly, yes, and reporters get around that by not running, or papers got around that by not running that story that day. They'll save it for another day and put another spin on it, or something like that. Try to make it your own, basically. But yeah, when you only can interview three people in the locker room, and let's just go, say you can only interview um, Baker, a special teamer, and the backup offensive lineman.
So wait a minute. So after a game, they designate who you could talk to.
Pre-COVID, after the game, they will bring the quarterback they bring head coach to the podium, quarterback to the podium, and then locker room is all open. It's wide open. You can try to grab them. Some players will talk to you right after the game. Some players want to take showers. Some players don't want to talk to you and will go. We'll just, because you have a 10-minute cooling down period. So if players can shower and get up out of there or stay in the trainer's room, then some would do that.
Well, tell me this: do the newspapers actually have a specific person that writes the titles to your stories?
The headlines, yeah. Yep. Yeah, the copy editors who look over our copy to make sure that we're factual and making sense. They also write the headlines for the stories. Now you can suggest some, but usually you're working on three different things, so you're not thinking about headlines. You're like, look, you know what it's about. Here you go. Pow. You you make me look even better than I look.
And that's appreciated. I'm sure our viewers appreciate the insight that you're providing. I have one more question about Jameis.
Yeah.
Do you think he was fairly treated when he was in Tampa?
Yes. I wrote a column after they said they was not going to sign them. And
Re-signing or re-signing, right?
Resign, that they were not going to resign him. And Bruce Arians said that it was the last two games of the season that determined that they needed to go in a different direction. And I thought that was bullshit, because this guy Bruce Arians has been around some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Peyton, Tom, Ben. He's been around them. So you 2 games don't make, especially when your top 2 receivers are hurt or on IR. So I thought that was bullshit. After talking to some other reporters, after talking to some people with the Bucks, they said no. He wasn't pulling no one's leg. He wasn't jiving. And Bruce Arians is really a good guy, and most people believe that. I just thought that was wrong. So, but to answer your question, was he treated fairly? I think he was for 4 years. I don't think he was his last year because I think he should still be a Buccaneer. But if he was, would they have won the Super Bowl last year? Probably not.
Thank you. That's where I was going next. At the end of the day, Bruce Arians ended up being correct.
Yes. Yes.
You know, he ended up being correct about it.
Yes, he was.
So, wow, that's an interesting dialogue there, and I appreciate you sharing the information that you did, Rick.
No problem.
You know. So, ladies and gentlemen, we just concluded our first full week of football. Woo! It's a lot more to go. It's a long way to go. Even to the high school programs and the collegiate programs, the favorites in college have stubbed their toe. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how this unfolds. When you get a chance, Cincinnati has a quarterback that's going to be a first-round draft choice. You might want to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to watch it. He's going to be a first-round draft pick. But it's just really interesting that some of these smaller schools, Jacksonville State, are upsetting some of these larger programs. And there was even, I heard him on a talk radio show today saying, is Scott Frost going to get fired at Nebraska when Oklahoma beats him? I don't know if Nebraska will ever be able to be what they used to be. It's just my own personal opinion. That's all.
It's not the 70s anymore.
It's hard to be able to recruit a kid to go to Nebraska, especially in a state where it's not, you're going to be missing a whole lot of talent. It's hard pressed to see a kid from Texas, California, Georgia, Florida, New York go to Nebraska. And the only way you can do that is if you have outstanding facilities. And that's why, I didn't understand Oregon and how in the heck they were going down getting all those kids from LA until I saw all the stuff they had and about their benefactor and the way they took care of them. Oh my God. It had to be something when all those kids from LA were leaving going to Oregon. Yeah. And who's their number one benefactor?
Just do it, baby.
So they got all the gear. They got all the experimental gear, the new gear. They got everything. Yeah, see, there you go. Well,
just do it, baby.
How could you not want to go play when you saw all the stuff that they have? They started with that green, that lime green and all of that. At first, when they first wore it, everybody like, man, what is that color? Shoot.
And now
6 months, everybody wanted it. And I'm sure they get enough shoes and apparel and all of that, and for those kids, that makes a difference.
It does. Agreed.
Now, the next thing to watch is USC and to see who they end up with. There was on talk radio, they were talking about your coach from Jacksonville leaving, going to USC.
Yeah. Herbs. And someone say he's gonna get a headache and have to leave Jacksonville. And the only way he's gonna cure the headache is to go to USC. Oh my God.
See, look at you. Look at you.
People are crazy. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. I ain't say that. Well, I repeated what I heard. Let's just put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you. Need to stay tuned to Insights. Go down there and click subscribe, like, notifications. We got some other people coming up in the very near future. Well, we had Billy Joe on about Bobby Bowden, and people saying, "Oh, we wonder where Billy was." You know, he living the life as a retired man, just chilling. You know, so we got some more guests coming, and we're gonna bring back our NFL sports fans. You know, those guys are a little special.
A little special, folks. A little special.
We got our own swagoo. And when we come back on next week, we're gonna give you a running total of where everybody stands, because it's going to be very interesting.
Very,
Rick, if you don't beat anybody but Sports Diva, you gotta be Sports Diva.
You know, my mother told me, I mean, my people told me a long time ago, you know, you're not supposed to beat women. Sports Diva?
No.
I can't wait, baby. I cannot wait. Sorry, Mom. Love you.
I don't care what you say, boy. I love that, boy. I love it. And my grandson like to say, talking smack. Talking smack.
Stay up to date with the latest from Insights. Visit our website at insights.com. 2 eyes in the middle. INSiiGHTS.
Insights is the copyright of Mac4 Enterprises, a Florida corporation. This broadcast is produced under the exclusive ownership of Mac4 Enterprises and is the intellectual property and trademark of Mac4 Enterprises. Comments of the host and other individual speakers on Insights represent their independent thoughts and representations.
Rick, Sports Diva said to bring it.
Oh, I'm going to bring this, Sports Diva. Trust me. The only way that we do correctly. Hey, y'all be safe out there. Wear your mask, folks. Wear your mask.
Wear your mask.
Be
We'll
safe.
see you next week. Watch football, high school, college, and pro.